Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get things started, everybody. Welcome to the 2023 Women in Exhibition Speaker Series. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to be inviting you to get to know a little bit about Bob Bagby, who is a force to be reckoned with B&B Theaters. And they're a fasting, growing, I think the largest privately held cinema chain in the nation. So a little bit of house cleaning. For those of you who do not know about Women in Exhibition, we are a global 501c3. We've been around since 2019, and we've been growing very grassroots. I'm going to challenge everybody that's on this call today. If you have not joined, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and go to womeninexhibition.com and go ahead and put in your $25. We'd like to grow a little bit and implement some new programs, something in leadership, maybe some sort of scholarship program. So we need you to help us out a little bit. So I'm going to challenge everybody on this email today. And then one of the programs that we have that's been very successful is our mentorship program. The new one launches next month. So if you are willing to impart some wisdom, please offer to be a mentor. And if you're ready to kind of get to know one of the ladies a little bit better, go ahead and sign up as a mentee, and we will partner you with somebody that is going to help you with your career trajectory. Now, the sponsor that we have today is GDC Technologies. I had the good fortune of listening to them talk at the ICTA conference about what they're doing and how they're evolving in the industry. And they're doing a lot of work with B&B Theaters. So I thought it might be a good opportunity for them to tell our group a little bit about what they're doing. And they said they'd be willing to support us as sponsoring this event today. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Tony Adamson and Annie Wang from GDC Technologies. So Fred, would you go ahead and play their little video before they start? All right. So Annie and Tony, please introduce yourselves and say hi to our group.
Hi,
everyone. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year.
You're the rep.
So, yeah, my name is Annie Wang. I'm from GDC Technology, and I have my coworker here, Tony. So this is a great start of New Year. Probably, as you know, currently it's actually Chinese New Year.
That's right.
Yeah, just started on Sunday. So it's a year of rabbit, means good fortune and good luck. So it will be a great year for our industry. Maybe Tony, would you like to introduce more and what's new in GDC for this new year?
Sure, Annie. Hello, everyone. I'm Tony Adamson. I'm Senior Vice President of GDC. And Heather, thank you for this opportunity. When you asked me, it's probably the quickest decision I've made in quite a while. The answer was yes. I didn't take long. But anyway, you know, Annie told me that, you know, we go back with Bob and the family all the way back to 2009. So it's a very, very long relationship, and just goes to show you how important relationships are in this industry. It's amazing how easy they, you know, are to work with. It's every time we call, we say, you know, we've got a new product. Would you guys like to try it? And that's a real quick decision for them too. The answer is usually yes. But we're really proud that you know, they use pretty much all of our products, including some of the newers. But what Heather was talking about is we have a new product called Dive Control Dynamic Lighting. It's a well, it's actually for your pre-show, and it's an RGB lighting system that's timed with the content on the pre-show. So you can do all kinds of cool things with it. You know, like B&B, when they played Frozen, they turned the whole auditorium blue. When they played Spider-Man, the entire auditorium was red when people walked in, and then they timed it to their they time it to their company trailer, their snipe and other things. So it's really cool product. It's a new product. It is available. And then you know, and also whenever they have a challenge, you know, they come to us and say to you, you have a product. And quite honestly, if we don't, we usually go back to Hong Kong and say, we have one of our top customers that can use this product. And usually within 3 to 6 months, we've got something, you know, on the boards and delivered to them. One of the newer products, some people may not know, but GDC jumped into the audio business about 6 months ago. So we have several new products, including our SR1000 IMB now has a built-in sound processor for 5171. It's an optional item that you can add as a license. And then we also have an optional immersive audio DTSX 15.1 option that you can add. And B&B is, you know, our largest customer. When we introduced DTSX and Brock and the team heard it, it's like right on board. All their grand screens and many of their, if not all their ScreenX screens have DTSX immersive audio, which I can't even keep track of how many screens they have now. Maybe Bob knows.
He'll tell us. Yeah.
Annie might know. I don't know. It's like close to 20 or something like that. But we have several new products. We have a new AE6703 that they asked us, you know, hey, you know, as we transition to digital amps, do you have a product? And that's a bi-directional converter that can go back and forth between AES3 and AES67. So a new product that we'll have at CinemaCon. So anyway, just
make sure you put anything like that in the chat, Tony, if you want somebody to be able to, if you have a link that they could take a look at, one of you guys can drop it in the chat for us.
Yeah, I guess I can chew gum and talk at the same time. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, no questions there. So thank you for pointing that out. So that's just a few of the you know, little bit of the background that we have with B&B and real close relationship. And I'd like to, you know, a shout out to Bobby, you know, as a former marketing executive for AMC, it's really satisfying and exciting to see B&B who they really market locally and no one, you know, does it better. I mean, they take on a challenge of a new location and the next thing you know, the entire town knows about it. And, you know, corporate marketing across the, you know, circuit is fine, but, you know, you got to reach out to your loyal people and you got to reach out to the community. And I don't think anyone does it better.
I do not.
They just do an amazing job. So congrats, Bobby. That's awesome. So Annie, do you have anything to add? I mean, it's, you know,
No, yeah, thanks for having us here. Really appreciate. I still remember back to 2009, my first trip to visit Kansas City and visited B&B and the Sonic. That's how we started our relationship almost like 14 years ago. It's been a wonderful journey. We are really proud to partner with B&B for the past decade.
And I want to add to that, whoever's listening on this call that's a theater exhibitor, the thing about B&B is they take risks, they take chances, and you know, you might want to tear a page out of their book because they've done great, and you know, they're just they're willing to share. Like if you ask them questions, they'll invite you to their flagship location and walk you through and show you stuff. And I think that's pretty cool about our industry, that they don't hold and covet everything. They believe that the rising tide raises all ships, and that's a beautiful thing about them.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, we point to B&B, you know, all the time when we, you know, people ask us all the time, well, who's using this? It's usually well, B&B is, and you know, that means a lot. I mean, you know, it's one thing to say brand A or brand B uses it, but you know, people like to know that there are, you know, other circuits besides that brand A that's doing something. So anyway, they're just great partners. They're extremely innovative, constantly expanding. I mean, it's like a press release every other day. Bob's got to be really busy signing leases, but no one's happier than Annie and I when we see them, opening a new location. And in fact, we try to go to as many as we can. I'm anxious, Bob, to see Oakview. I opened that theater when I was at AMC, so I have fond memories of it when the parking lot wasn't done and nobody could get to the grand opening because it snowed. So I know you've made a lot of changes there, so I'm kind of anxious to see that theater. So anyway, so Heather, you should.
Yes, and Ann Sampson says there's a few available theaters in LA coming up. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I mean, we could talk about, Bob and the family for a long time, so you need to take over.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so very much. It's for supporting women in exhibition and helping us grow. Now, Bob, before I introduce you, this is going to take a little bit of wind out of your opening question, because I asked Brock if he would give us a little insight to what it's like to be part of the Bagby family. So he gave me a little insight to you, a little bit more on the origin side. So this hopefully won't take away all what you're going to tell us, but this is what Brock had to say. He said, Bob grew up in Stockton, Kansas, where he lived in an apartment above the drive-in. He literally grew up in the business. He started selling popcorn when he was 6 and learned to count change. His school asked him to teach the other kids how to count money because his teacher had seen him working the concession stand over a weekend. This was in the 1st grade. His family owned a restaurant called the Chicken Inn, where Bob worked, and he did the books and his teens. So this was his first start in accounting. Eventually college came, and he was the first in his family to attend, which his parents were very proud. Bob has a love and a passion for all things art. And one of the things that people do not know, or most don't know, that he was going to major in music ministry. But then he decided going to a major, to take the major in accounting. Bob still loves music ministry, plays the piano and sings with the cantors, and his family at the local church as a volunteer. This Christmas, his kids and grandkids all led the service with over 1,000 in attendance. Okay, back to college. During this period in his life, he fell in love and married his bride, Bridget Bills, and they ran the Dairy Queen in Columbia for Elmer Bills, who owned it. He continued to do the books for his family theaters. In 1990, he had the opportunity to allow the Bills family and the Bagby to buy their first theater in Fulton, Missouri. He bought it from Warenberg Theaters. Shortly thereafter, their 2 companies became 17 screens. Through the years, Bob, Bridget, Amy, and Sterling grew the B&B theater, often replacing old downtown ones with their portfolio. Today, Bob and Bridget have grown the company to 529 screens, growing 31 times since 1980. Bob and Bridget have 3 adult children, Bobby, EVP and CCO, Brittany, EVP and COO, and Brock, EVP, Chief Content Officer of Programming, and Development Officer, all running the day-to-day operations. Okay, so this is the nice little thing he's going to share. Of course, this is the last question I was going to ask you, Bob. He said, Bob's favorite movie is Dave, an ordinary man who becomes the president of the United States because he looks like the president. Bob's kids feel this movie is as fitting for Bob. He's no ordinary man, but has grown from his small roots of Stockton, Kansas, to the CEO of the largest privately held theater chain and the vice chairman of NATO, and next fall, the chairman of NATO, leading the worldwide organization of theater owners. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Bagby. So yes, part of your initial question.
Wow. Wow.
Right? So
That
you're
was
like,
very
okay.
nice, Brock, very nice. First,
So,
thank
yeah.
Annie, I want to thank Annie
Yeah.
and Tony, great partners. What I like about them is their word is their word.
Oh,
What they tell us is what they mean, and that is what's most important to me in relationships. So
they've earned that
thank
place
you.
in your heart for a reason.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. So when I went to go do our questions, Bob, and I asked you about your origin story, is there anything that Brock shared that has left out something that you feel compelled that this group should know about you as a human and your sort of growth into this field?
Well, I was thinking about this, and this may take a couple minutes, but I think it's important because, this is a woman's organization, and women in our family have had a major impact on our company throughout our history. The first theater was bought by my wife's Bridget's grandfather in 1924, 99 years ago. So we're getting close to 100 years. And the piano player at that time was at the silent movies, became his wife. So the first woman was the piano player for the silent movies, and she went on to work beside him years and years and years. Elmer Sr. had a son, Elmer Jr., which is my wife's Bridget's father. He married Amy. They worked beside each other their entire life. They had drive-ins, indoor theaters. Amy fried cases and cases of hamburgers and made pizzas and got in there and did the work and ran the ticket booth and all that stuff. And then, of course, Bridget and I got married, and I'll get back into that in a minute. The other side of the family, my side of the family, my dad went to work for Bridget's grandpa when he was 10 years old selling popcorn. His first strides into the movie business was he was 10 years old. He fell in love with the business. In World War II, he volunteered and ran the projectors on the ships, got out of the service and started the Bagby Roadshow. Now, this was when he had a truck, and he married my mom, and the two of them had their truck, and they went to small towns and they showed movies on the side of buildings or in the city halls. And they take the projector and the popcorn machine and the chairs, and they set up in communities. Well, talking about a strong woman back in the 40s, Dad decided to double the business, and he bought Mom her own truck. So he sent, back in the 40s, a woman in a truck with a projector and a popcorn machine and chairs, and would go and show movies and had her own run. So I mean, we've had very strong women in our background. One of my favorite stories we found in Mom's diary when she passed is there was a flood, and she couldn't get to the next town because the bridge was out for the show. And you know, the people in the town said, no, everybody's looking forward to the movie. They sent a boat over to get her, and she loaded the projector on the boat, and she showed the movie. And in her diary, she said, "The show must go on." So, like I said, we have a very strong history of strong women. Bridget and I married, and we've worked beside each other our whole lives, and she has a different sense than I do on business. She has almost a sixth sense on people. We would walk into a theater, we talk to the manager, we'd leave, and she'd said, "That manager's stealing from us," or "That manager's going to have a nervous breakdown." And yes, 2 weeks later, he had a nervous breakdown and quit. I mean, she has another sense that sometimes a man doesn't have, or maybe it's the other way around. But I think the partnerships we've had in our family with our wives and our partners have made such a difference and creates a lot for our success. And of course, now Bridget and I have our 3 adult children, which you know, and Brittany is in charge of operations. Bobby run this company, and I'm very proud of them. And so there we go.
Froze for a second. Okay. All righty. Oh my God. Well, it's awesome to kind of hear a little bit of that, the beginning story in your arc. So now let's get to know you a little bit. What are some of your favorite hobbies or pastimes?
Well, I watch a lot of movies. I can't, I look forward to seeing all the new movies. I'm not big on horror, but just about everything else. I try to watch everything that comes out. And as Brock said, I love music. Bridget and I love to go hear bands and have dinner and listen to a jazz trio or something. Those are our favorite things.
Do you find yourself wanting to get up if you go to watch a band, or you're like hankering to show your talent off?
Sometimes.
Okay, so let's find out. Do you read books, or do you have time to read books?
I read a lot of trade everything in the trades. And of course, I enjoy reading when I have the time. We're on a little trip last week, and they had a library, and I picked up a book on Eisenhower and his presidency and during the Cold War. And I read a few chapters of that, found it very interesting. But I also like, when I'm on vacation, particularly, just relaxing, mindless mysteries, like a James Patterson book or something. So,
and
I finished one of his and read a little bit of Eisenhower. So a little bit of both.
And when you read these books like James Patterson, it kind of helps you detach from work because it's such a Yeah, I got it.
Exactly.
All right. So let's find a little bit about the traits and people that you admire.
I like positivity. I like people that I don't like people that are negative. I like people that are positive and honest and just bring joy. People that just bring joy to my life and joy to the company and joy to the family.
And it sounds like what you just said about Tony and about Annie. It sounds like you like people that you can count on, that their word is their oath.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you hold them accountable. I do recall when I first met you, you made that impression on me. So that's great to know. So can you tell us what you think is your proudest accomplishment?
Well, the answer that, of course, I think everybody would say is your family. I love our family. I'm proud of our family. It's my joy to get to come to work every day with my family. Our offices are right here together beside each other, and we're together every day. There's three things that I thought of to answer this question. Obviously, family.
You're like, okay.
Second was when I joined the family business, we had 17 screens. And we've grown that to over 500 screens, fifth largest theater operator based on screen count in the United States. That's a pretty big thing. We stayed privately held, which is very hard to do in this world. So I'm, very proud of that, and very proud that we've done it together as our family, our parents, and now my kids. I mean, that's wonderful. And then the third thing that I'm really thankful for and proud of is as vice chairman of NATO, I was able to work with Jackie at NATO and the NATO team to help get the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant passed, which helped so many people.
Yeah.
And, we actually, because I was vice chair, we would get, when Susan Collins' office was writing the actual bill, language got sent to NATO, and Jackie would call me and my team at like 11 o'clock at night. We were trying to tweak it, and some of the things we tweaked got into the bill that helped many people get a lot of money. And I was so focused on our industry, right? But that bill helped a lot of other industries. And a few weeks after that thing passed, some people invited us to go to the Folly Theater in Kansas City for a jazz concert. And the lady gets up on stage. We're so thrilled that we survived. And, thanks for all the donors, but the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant is what saved us. And I was like, I didn't even realize how it affected not just our industry, but so many other industries. So very, very happy that I had a little bit of help on.
That's profound. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's kind of a personal question. How have you changed over the past year?
I think COVID made us all stop and realize we need to smell the roses a little bit. And so I've tried really hard to not let the little things stress me out as much. And I've got good people, and to trust their judgment, and try to take a little less time away from the office, and count on my people to do their job, count on my family. And so I think I'm trying. I'm not good at it, but I'm trying to smell the roses a little bit more.
Have you tried to relax and maybe vacation a little bit more? Because I know you're a workaholic like your son and your daughters.
I'm trying.
Hard, huh? You get so focused on the business.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to start talking a little bit about business, and we'll go back to a little bit personal towards the end, but let's talk about your roles with B&B. Tell us about your day-to-day activities and what's your strategy for this future growth with B&B.
Thankfully, I'm out of so much of the day-to-day crisis details that, that happen every day in business, right? And I'm able to focus more on the big picture. Some of our growth strategies, I'm very involved with that. I'm involved with meeting with each of the kids in their departments, and we have family board meetings and go through things. So I'm highly involved with our banking partners and our landlords and things of that nature for our growth. So I'm more big picture than I was, even 3 years ago, and I've enjoyed that. And of course, I'm also very active with NATO as vice chairman, in training for chairmanship. I'm traveling with Rolando and John and Jackie all over the country, meeting with people. And I'm also vice chairman of CinemaCon, which is coming up soon. I hope you all come. It's going to be a great show, and we've been having meetings preparing for that. So it's still a very busy schedule, but not so much in the day-to-day details.
And how, in your role with NATO as a chairman, what are some of the duties that you're responsible for?
Well, you know, NATO represents the entire exhibition community, so we're constantly working on how to improve. Right now, I think our big push has been film supply, you know, providing data to the studios, working with them to get more product out, which is what we all need right now. Proving that piracy is a problem with day-to-day streaming. And, you know, I feel like the tide's really turned, though. I feel like everybody's waking up that, you know, movie theaters aren't dead. They're here to stay. We can produce a gross. We can make a lot of money for the studios, and then they can also make money on streaming. And that we're not in competition with each other. They really work well together. And so I think getting that message across is important. You know, working with the board on all, you know, open captioning and all those things, you know, working on the things around the nation where somebody tries to pass a law that doesn't help us, and trying to, you know, work with our team to do those kind of things. So it's very much more time consuming than I thought, but it's very rewarding.
Very rewarding. Okay, so this is one of those questions you might not want to answer, but what's one thing in the industry that everybody says that you disagree with?
Well, you know, that's a hard question.
You can't agree with everything.
You know, what I've heard, what I keep hearing from even some theater owners, oh, it's never coming back. It's never coming back. Oh, we should sell our theater. And I just completely disagree. When COVID hit and things shut down, I knew in my heart our industry was coming back. And that's why we doubled down. Instead of closing down theaters, we started adding theaters, because I believe, you know, there's opportunities right now that there have never been so many opportunities. And so we added 150, 60 screens. We've doubled down that I believe in the future, this is a time to make deals. And so to the naysayers that say this industry is dying is absolutely wrong. I think it's coming back stronger than ever, and I'm excited to be part of it.
All right, so this is one of those questions that, you know, of course, I'd like to know, because I work with LG and we're bringing new technology. So what are some of the trends that you think are going to impact our industry?
If you don't have a theater that has the amenities that our guests want, you're maybe not coming back. If you have an old theater with slope floor, old uncomfortable chairs, you probably aren't coming back. And I mean, there are some of those that are well kept, and that's a different thing. But for the most part, people want recliners. They want the big screen experience. They want their bars, you know, they want to be able to have a cocktail and some food. And I think you've got to have those. And yes, all the technology that Annie and Tony and what you're bringing, I think, are all things we're looking at. We're trying, you got to have the best sound, the best picture, and people seem to be wanting the big experience. And so our big grand screens are selling, and are selling really great. And then for us, we're getting into more entertainment centers, adding so that the whole, you come, you know, linger longer, come for the movie, stay to bowl, play the arcade, have a drink in the bar, listen to a band, you know, spend the evening with B&B. And so I think you'll see more of that. And also, I realized during COVID, when we had no movies, we still had bowling people, you know, and that provided some money, right? So that's good.
And so for a future prediction, that would probably lend right into that you really feel like cinemas need to be somewhat multi-use a little bit and evolve a little bit.
Yeah, not every location, but yes, I think that's definitely something for the future. And again, not every theater is going to have all that, but I think we're all looking at what other things can we do to bring people to the theater and then keep them there a little longer, to make it a night out, you know, as not just a movie, but dinner, drinks, bowling, whatever.
Now, looks like you cut out again. Hello, okay, there you are. So are you like still going to the shows like the EEE conference that are held in Hollywood and looking for new locations to possibly comedier?
Yeah, I went to EE last year. I'm not sure this year. There's just, if you go to a convention every week and you can't necessarily do that and run a company, but yeah, obviously CinemaCon, Show East. And if I don't go out, there'll be other people in the family or other people that work on our team that will attend some of those events.
Okay, so we're gonna ask a few more personal questions, then we're gonna open up to our audience to say hi to you. So personally, what's your favorite way to see a movie, Bob?
The B&B Grand Screen ScreenX here in Liberty. It's the largest ScreenX in the world, and I absolutely love watching movies in there.
Fabulous.
In fact, I used to go to screenings and I just prefer to wait and see it with the crowd in our grand screen. It's with ScreenX is amazing, and I really prefer to watch a movie with the crowd, because that's how you're supposed to watch movies, with the crowd, so you feel the crowd.
Got to giggle and laugh with the movie.
That's right.
Okay, what's your favorite movie snack?
Popcorn and Diet Coke.
There you go. So you guys were Pepsi, now you're Coke, huh?
I know.
Converted. And then, is Dave your favorite movie of all time? Is it just one of them? What's your favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie is the one that made money.
It's like my favorite beer is free. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Top Gun. I loved Elvis last year. Those are, two great movies. I loved both of those. But I don't know, for some reason, Dave always pops in my mind. I mean, as a kid, one of my favorite movies was, I think it was a Fox salesman. My dad took me into his office back when you actually went in and booked your movies and I was like a 10, 12-year-old kid. And the guy said, "We're thinking about making this into a movie. Will you read this book? And when you come back next month, tell me if you think we should make it into a movie." And I did. I loved it. I went back and I said, "Yes, you should make it into a movie." And a few months later, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang came out with Dick Van Dyke, and it was all because of me. And so it has been my favorite movie as a kid.
That is awesome. And is there anything that you want to share with this audience, that our parting comment from you and to Women in Exhibition?
Well, Bronk mentioned that I was in music. I actually had a band for 16 years. Started in college and played up until Brock was born. Third kid, getting home at 3 or 4 in the morning, and then getting up with him at 5 was, I think it's maybe time to stop. But I still love music. As he said, we are involved with our church music. We also have a couple of jazz clubs here in Kansas City. One here in Liberty. It's attached to our theater in Liberty. You can, go from the theater into the jazz club, have a drink or have dinner before the movie or come back after. We also have an outside entrance so people can come. But we probably spend 3 nights a week there. It's no dishes. They can cook for us, and we bring the best bands of the city right to our own door, and we're only 4 minutes away from home. So I love music. We love music. We love get to know the entertainers and appreciate their talents. And yes, occasionally I'll jump on the stage and sing a song.
But that's awesome. I see Brittany over there smiling big as can be. Well, that's great. So this has been so awesome to get to know you a little bit. And I know we have a lot of people on this call, so I'm going to try to just randomly grab somebody, let them say hi. And we will have to grab Mama T because she takes a picture. So Mama T, I'm going to grab you first. You take your picture with Bob, and then I'll just start asking these other guests to say hello to Bob.
Hi, Bob. Again, we met earlier on the call, but it's so wonderful to hear all this about you. I had no idea. I mean, I knew who you were. I'm originally from Missouri as well, but I'm a New Yorker now, and love the bit about music. My daughter is in college to be a music educator, and she's a musician, so that's fantastic. And what I like to do is what we call a selfie, and basically all you got to do is just smile, and I will take a nice little picture of the two of us, and that's it. So 1, 2, 3. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so when I call on you, unmute yourself. Michelle Drake, I'm going to grab you.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I work for DTS, and we are beyond proud to be partners with B&B and GDC. I'm listening to you talk, Mr. Bagby, and I'm thinking the greatest generation's not gone. it's still alive and well. And I've taken a lot of notes because I want to glean from your wisdom. And we love growing with you. And I love working with your team, Alyssa, Brock, and Bobby. So thank you so much for sharing all these personal stories with us. And we look forward to 2023 and continue to grow.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Michelle.
so much.
Mike Cummings, grabbing you.
Come on. Hi, everybody. Well, I'm Mike Cummings, Senior Principal, TK Architects, also in Kansas City. I'm happy to be a sometimes collaborator with Bob and the B&B family on helping realize some of their visions for what they're doing. Bob, you've assembled an amazing team. I know part of that is family, but it goes beyond that. You know, you have a lot of long-term people that are part of the extended B&B family. And so the culture there is just awesome. And I want to second the idea about how gracious your team is. I had some friends in town from China a few years ago, and they wanted to see an American movie theater. And so Dennis McIntyre agreed to give us a tour of the new Liberty location. And he told the B&B story along with giving us a tour of the facility. And he tells it so well. I mean, having been there from running a theater for you, for now doing development with the entertainment. And so much creativity, so much energy, so much drive from Brock and from Bobby and from Brittany. I always say part of the reason I'm optimistic about the future of exhibition are young people engaged in the industry like your kids, and they're fantastic. So the future is bright.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank
Brittany,
you.
I got to grab you. You got to say hi to your daddy-o.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dad. He literally is right here behind me on the other side of my office. When we say we work together, we really mean it. We are right beside each other. I'm Executive Vice President and COO for B&B Theaters. And I just have to say, it's such an honor to get to work with my family, and for my father to not only be my father, but my mentor has been such an incredible blessing. I learn something every day. When he says he believes in positivity and people who are positive, I say he is an endless optimist. And it was so often, oh, I'm gonna get choked up. So often his optimism that got us through COVID. When we were sitting around the table, not in the office because our office was completely shut down, but we would still get together as a family later once we could and sit down, and we were trying to figure out, you know, getting down to how many months or weeks do we have until, you know, we need to get SFOG. What are we looking at here? It was his constant optimism that rode us through this. And he takes care of people and believes in integrity, very much so, and that kindness matters. And I think that's what we have all learned from him, and to treat people fairly and they treat you fairly. And that's what we have learned, and are all trying to run our company based on the foundations of his ethics. And I really think why we have found such great success is because of what we are all learning from him. So it's awesome to get to hear you talk today, Dad, as always.
Yeah.
I love
See,
you.
you're gonna make me cry. You're awesome. I'm gonna pop down there to Ann Sampson, sweetheart. You want to unmute?
Hello. I know the B&B family. My gateway was through Ed Carl and Brad Bells, who are just amazing film buyers in and of themselves. And through all my various positions, I've met everyone on the call that was discussed. And I will say that everyone has positive comments about B&B.
Yeah.
So it's not unusual to hear these positive things, but between my studio friends and my vendor friends, B&B is just the best, always on the top. So happy to be on this call, and thanks for all your wisdom, Bob.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to pop down to Tom Bingham. You going to hop yourself on here, Mr. Bingham? You better be on there, or I will come find you.
Oh, I'm on here. I just sent a note, and I would just say I had the privilege of visiting with B&B Theater, new to the industry, and met with Brock, and you know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The family as a whole is impressive, and the organization is impressive, and the attitude reflected in Mr. Bagby and the whole organization is permeating through everybody that works with you and for you. So I'm glad that Heather introduced us. I'm looking forward to our paths crossing again, and just what an amazing story, and hearing your family talk about being part of the company and the family both at the same time is very inspirational. So congratulations on your success in your future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. John Marmo, you got to unscreen yourself and hop on here. We know you're friends of the family. There you are.
Hi, John.
Oh, unmute. Hang on. Unmute. There you go.
Okay, there we go. I was actually part of that cruise that you were talking about earlier, and then it wasn't the first time I met the Bagsbys, but it was the first time I met the extended family, the managers, and you can see how things filter down from the top because their managers are all great. Being in the advertising end of the business, I work with managers a lot. They're professional, they're responsive, and they take pride in their work. So as someone said before, it's not surprising that the apple falls from the tree. You know, it's pretty close. So it's an honor to work with them.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Marmo. Deanna Taphorn, you willing to say hi? Unmute there.
There we go.
All right.
Hey everybody, I'm Deanna. I actually work with Chris Tickner and doing concessions. Yeah, I left you a message today, so give me a call. No. But I just want to say, you know, how impressed I am with just the Bagby family and the business. Family is actually pretty big to me. You know, my grandpa immigrated and we got a great origin story, just like your family does. And it makes a huge difference when your family is really involved in what you're doing and they really back you. And like you said, positivity, you know, that's a huge thing. I had a tire blowout, and then once that tire was fixed, the same one went low, and I had to call tow trucks. And every time I took a picture with the tow truck drivers, and everybody's like, why are you taking pictures with the tow truck drivers? And I was like, well, I have to laugh at this somehow and make light of it, because I mean, what else are you going to do? So I'm just really impressed with the B&B company, family, theaters. And I put in the chat that my friends, they have actually told me that they like B&B theaters over AMC.
Oh, wow.
No. Yeah. So just want to let you guys know you're doing a great job, and I love working with your company.
Thanks, Deanna. Now I'm losing Bobby. Where are you, Bobby? You got your little kidlets with you. You got to hop on. Where's Bobby? There she is.
Well, really quickly, I'm here with mom and dad's grandkids because we all wanted to watch together today. So we're all gathered around on the big TV watching today. So family is all the way through. And these guys say that they are our screenplay testers. There you go. So they test the popcorn and all the things that are important. And I just echo that. You know, our team at B&B, the people that work for us, that is all the way down to, I just was in the other day and I saw a brand new employee who was welcoming people with the magic of the movies. And that is why we do it. I just love creating experiences for people. And I never see, well, outside of family, seeing dad the happiest is in a busy lobby where he's helping direct traffic and helping make sure the popcorn is right. And he is in his element in a crowd. And so that's filtered down, and it's just really fun. I love this industry. We believe in the future. Thank you, Heather, for setting this up. And can you guys say hi to Baba?
Hi,
Baba. I love it. Melissa Boudreau, are you willing to come on and say hello?
Hello, yes. Sorry, I chatted everyone. I was like, you got to call him Bobby. I got to see these grandkids and that. So thank you so much, Bob, for chatting. And I've been choked up like 3 times on this call unexpectedly, just inspired by you all and your family and what you're doing and your belief in the industry. So thank you for sharing that. It's very nice to hear and refreshing. My question for you is, going from 1 or 2 locations now to X amount, over 500 screens. as everyone here has talked about and said, you've maintained that culture. How do you do that on a daily basis? I know you're not in it day to day, but that's such a huge accomplishment, because I see a lot of other retail theater chains just struggle with carrying that through. How do you do that?
You hire people that have your values, your positivity, your joy, and then they hire people with the same thing. We have weekly call Zooms with, you know, our leadership team, but we also have a monthly call with every single manager. And we encourage them, and we do fun things like we'll surprise them with pizza on a busy night that corporate office sent out to everybody, and our team, you know, helps set that up. We've done, everybody keeps talking about this cruise. We did right before COVID, we took the entire company on a cruise. You know, first week of September, business is slow. You talk about building loyalty. And the fun thing, before the cruise, we had like a 1.5 year build up where everybody started out in a little bitty indoor cabin with no windows. And if you did this and you did that and you got points, then you moved up this, you got a balcony. And so it was a fun thing that we did together. We've done, you know, fitness things where you try to lose weight or get so many steps. And we've had a lot of seminars on mental health, your mental health, trying to help our frontline, our managers, you know, have that access. So we tried so hard to be engaged. It's hard. It is hard as you get bigger, but we try really hard. And there's a lot of the B&B people on this Zoom today that are the leaders that really help pass that along to our team. But it is a struggle, but it's so important to us to pass that along.
Incredible.
Awesome.
I feel grateful to work in this industry with you all.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to hop around a little bit. Howard McAuliffe, are you willing to hop on?
I am. Thanks for
Excellent.
coming out today, Bob.
Hi, Howard.
We started working with you on the Ankeny project on the arcade, and I know that it wasn't everyone wasn't so excited about adding an arcade to a theater, but it's been fun to be part of that journey with you guys. Mostly, we work with Dennis, but
Right.
as you've evolved the thinking, and I can tell everyone that so our company does primarily arcade and family entertainment consulting with lots of different industries, and the theater industry is the fastest growing one. As people are reinventing and evolving, which I'm as you've done over the generations, and this is just one more, and it'll probably continue. And it's really exciting, and people are doing well with it. And I know that the theater business is not, it's not going away. But it will evolve like all of our businesses. So thanks for coming out. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. All right, Keiko Sutton. Looks like you got a room full over there.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So we're here, a whole group joining from New York City. And my name is Keiko Sutton. I'm with Kotobuki, where I do a lot of exhibition work in Japan, but also around the world, including with Furco team in UK and around the world. In New York, we're quite new, but and this is actually my first Zoom meeting, and to be able to hear from you, Bob, and about your ethic and the work. And I understand the challenges and joy of family-owned, privately owned businesses. And it's just incredible to hear your ethics and your outlook. And so thank you for letting us join. And it's been a pleasure. So thank you.
Thanks for coming, Keiko. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Okay, got to hop over to LPJ. She usually has something up her sleeve. What do you got, girl?
Okay, we're unmuted. Well, now that I know more about Bob, and we're of like backgrounds in the music business, and Bob, we'll have a separate conversation about that when I see you at CinemaCon, which is really exciting. But I did have one question. There are a few, I would like to know the background about a lot of the private-owned, family-owned businesses that are still in the domestic market, and how the impact of COVID and what's happening in the industry. A good example would be O'Neill Theaters out there, O'Neill Cinemas out there on the Eastern Board. I'm not sure if you know this group. Do we have an idea of the family-owned and operated businesses that are continuing to do well in the domestic market?
I think there's been some that have kind of given up, that closed, sold, just the stress was too much. And so, I mean, I would say the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant helped a lot, right? Helped, catch up some of those bills. I think the ones that have hung on are going to see great success this year and beyond. I think, the last couple of years has been rough, but there's a lot of those small companies that have stayed on. A lot of privately held businesses are very frugal. They don't waste money, and they've saved for rainy days. And so I think you'll see many of them survive and do and really come out thriving. And they also maybe got to be careful how I say this. They're able to give that special service that maybe some of the bigger guys can't give. And I'm a bigger guy now, and we strive and work so hard to give that service. But I think those smaller theaters, they can survive. Their audience will come back, and their audience, your guests love the local theater, right? They love going to the movies, and they're appreciative of them still being open. And so I think you'll see a lot of those guys survive and thrive. Good to see you, Laura.
Good to see you.
Laura.
Thank you. We'll see you at CinemaCon, everyone.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got to grab Chris Tickner. I mean, he's one of the B&B family. Chris, want to say hello?
Sure. So I can say that I guess I'm an old guard now.
Right.
I started with B&B, a little over 15, 16, 36 years ago. At one of the first B&Bs, one of the first B&Bs in Moberly, Missouri. It was the Moberly 5 and Drive. As far as I'm aware, the only indoor-outdoor theater in the country. So I ran that. And I was lucky enough to actually work very near Elmer and Amy, because they were out of Salisbury. So I got to know the whole family. One of the things that I always try and say in a lot of the interviews that we have, and obviously I talk to the family a lot, my parents always felt like numbers at the companies that they worked for. They were just a number on the sheet, and they had to do their job, and that was it. I've never felt that way with B&B. When they say that they are a family company, you are part of the family. When you join, you are part of the family. And sort of what Bob was saying before was he hires good people, and we try and do the same on our end and hire good people and treat them the way that we are treated. And it just goes a long way, and it just creates for fantastic atmosphere. If you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. So very happy to be a part of B&B.
Kind of digging your background. Is that your home office, or where is that? That's cool.
It is. It's all my nerdy stuff. It's my movie room is back there. So yeah.
Very cool. Thank you for hopping on. I did ask Amy Motter. I'm not sure if she's too busy to hop on. Amy, are you available to hop on?
I am.
Thank
Sorry. Yes, it's a little bit crazy over here, but I just want to say that I'm just grateful that I got to hear your entire backstory, Bob. I think growing up in a family business that I grew up in, there is something that can be a little bit crazy about having a family business, and that you rarely separate yourself from it. But I will say that it is really a very much a beneficial thing for your family to see, for other people to see, because you can yell at each other, but you forgive each other the next day. So that's what I think is really a wonderful thing. So I commend you on holding that together, because that in and of itself is a very hard thing to do. And my question actually to you was, you did talk about that where theaters are going, that, people are going to start modifying, and the traditional 10 screen of just showing a movie theater is probably not where the industry is going right now. And diversification is really what people need to start to embrace, with it. What do you think is the most beneficial thing to do when theaters themselves are asking, like, what should I do next? The current thing people are saying now is like axe throwing, give drunk people an axe and have it throw, into a thing. But whether, I don't necessarily think that's where, it's going, but what things do you find are the most beneficial things that are happening in your business?
First of all, Brittany handles our insurance, and she has said absolutely no to axe throwing. So not doing that. She says, no to axe throwing. I mean, number one, you got to put in recliners. I mean, people will drive past theaters without recliners. They want that comfortable chair, and you need to put it in a bar. I mean, people want to have a cocktail and sit in that recliner, and they bring their blankets and they have an experience. Beyond that, I mean, the arcades, we were in the arcade business, we got out of the arcade business. Now we're going back into it. It's changed. You got to have a redemption store. They get their card and they get points. And I'll never forget, you mentioned Dennis McIntyre. We opened our theater at one of our theaters in Iowa, and all these kids were coming out with these big round balls. They just kept winning. I said, Dennis, something's wrong with that machine. Everybody's winning. And he said, oh no, you're winning. He said, it's $5 to play the machine and the balls cost us $1. Let them all win. Everybody's wanting to play that game. So, I mean, I think that's fun. It's something fun for the family. And if you ever had a family in an arcade, you go through a lot of cash really fast. I took on this same cruise everybody was talking to, we had the grandkids, and I took them all to the arcade one night for an hour. And it was like $150 in an hour. I was like, we need to put these in our theater. So we did that. And of course, bowling, we're looking at, rock climbing walls. We're looking at escape rooms, which I'm not sure. We're looking at ropes course, we're just, I think we're spending a lot of time this year. Dennis is kind of heads up our entertainment division, and he has been going to all these conventions across the country and looking, and there's just a lot of things out there that you can add. I mean, to me, I get asked all the time, will you build an entertainment center without a theater? I said, no, I'm in the theater business. Movies drive everything else. But if we can find other ways, let's say we pick up a 20 screen theater and maybe we only need 12 screens. Is there a way to convert some of those screens to some of these other things, which is what we're doing right now. There's just unlimited possibilities, go-karts, who knows what you're going to have down the road. But the whole thing is getting people out of the house. People want to be entertained. They want to have fun as a family. And if we can just add to that movie-going experience with some other experiences, I think we're all going to be winners. I
love it. We are literally down to the hour. I want to see if there's anyone else that wants to say hi to Bob. Raise your hand and let me call on you real quick so we can kind of end on a note with somebody that wants to chat with Bob. I know we had Gina Liberty on here. Gina, if you're still here, I know you'd like to say hi. Is everybody, she's still here? If not, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Bob, again, somebody's raising their hand. Who is that down there? Let's see who that is. Who's raising their hand? I can't see. Who is that? Who's raising their hand? Oh, it's Susan. Susan, go ahead and say hi, Susan.
Muted.
Sorry. Hi. Sorry, I was muted. First of all, want to thank you so much for sharing your amazing story. Your family sounds amazing and your business sounds absolutely amazing. It's so lovely to hear such a beautiful story, really. It should be made into a film, truly. And one of the things that I heard you say was that there's a need for more independent product, because I imagine the big screens get the studio films first, and it's harder for you to get product. So is there any interest in actually producing your own product, or getting involved in that, in some aspect of that?
Not for me. I don't know anything about that side of the business, but
like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
There you go. That's right. I mean, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. But yeah, I think we're all looking for, I think there is a place. And I think there's some talk in the industry of some ideas maybe that would make it easier for those types of pictures to get into the marketplace. So, stay tuned. There's a lot going on, and I think a lot of possibilities. But yes, we need a lot of product. And, the biggest problem with independent films, they've got the marketing budget. You've got to have money to market it to get people to come. That's the biggest problem.
I've always told producers that they should use 1/3 of their budget for distribution. that what they just, what low budget, no matter what budget is, just put a third aside for distribution and then you can.
That's the way it works. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
All
right, we are rounding up for time.
Before you kick me off, I just have to say, it's been an honor to be with you guys today. I appreciate the very, very many kind comments about our family and our company. You know, it is, you know, you were talking about it, like our board meetings, the first 30 minutes is talking about when are the kids' soccer games and dance recitals, you know, it's business, right? It's family business first. And and the big thing we're excited about is next year is our 100th anniversary. And so we are thrilled that we made it to our, we think we're going to make it to our 100th year. During COVID, it was scary times for all of us, but we're really going to celebrate. We're in talks of lots of different things we're going to do and hope you can join us at one of our celebrations.
Heck yeah. Okay, I'm going to do my final parting call.
All right.
Go ahead.
I think Bridget wants to tell a silly story on Bob really quickly if you want
Tell
real
it.
information.
Please do.
Well, I just finished on a personal note about Bob. We know we just got back from a little trip. The way Bob relaxed, he doesn't always completely relax because he's always got to take over and tell somebody, oh, you could sit over here, or he'll go tell the maitre d', oh, well, you know, somebody over there really needs some help. And so he really can't let his skills go. He's always got to make sure everybody's organized. So.
I bet he does. The consummate professional. So thanks everybody for joining our kickoff 2023 with Bob Bagby of B&B Theaters and the family. And we will see you guys soon. And we'll be launching the mentorship program. So y'all, let us know if you're willing to be part of the next issue. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome, Annie. I will sit tight and let everybody check off. There they go.
Reading all these comments real fast.
Right? They're so cute.
Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome. You were awesome. I knew you would be.
Okay, thanks. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, sir.